review this material. I'll put it up on YouTube. Okay, so now we're recording. I'm just going to go over review what we've already done up to this point. So we've talked about William Billings. He wrote the New England Psalm Singers, considered the first American composer. And the particular song that we listened to was called Chester. Okay, so in order to review, please go to YouTube and just listen to Chester real quick. The second person that we've reviewed so far is Stephen Foster. He's the father of American music, considered the father of American music. Wrote the songs Camptown Races, Oh Susanna, Jeannie with the Light Brown Hair, and the particular song that we listened to was Beautiful Dreamer. Okay, many of his songs were used in minstrel shows. Okay, so to review this, I would recommend going to YouTube and listening to Beautiful Dreamer, just to remind yourself. The person we just now listened to was Lowell Mason. He founded music education in public schools. Okay, and the particular song we just now listened to was Oh Music, Sweet Music. Okay, does anybody have any questions thus far? Questions or concerns? Okay. Now, the next person I would like to mention is Julia Ward Howe. Okay, does anybody remember who she is? We just talked about her very briefly. She was the lyricist for the Battle Hymn of the Republic. Famous suffragist. And Battle Hymn of the Republic was a very, very, very popular song among the Union soldiers. She was considered an abolitionist and a suffragist, a woman who fought for women's rights. Let's listen to it. Let's listen to this. This has got to be good.
Are you still sharing your screen?
Okay, I'm going to stop for now right there. Now remember, Julia Ward Howe wrote the lyrics to that song. Okay? The song already existed. She composed new lyrics to it. Okay? She was a lyricist, not a composer. Okay? She was a famous suffragist and abolitionist who wrote the lyrics to the Battle Hymn of the Republic. Cool? Clear? Concerns, questions, issues, comments?
How do you spell her name?
Julia, Julia.
I thought you said Joya for some reason.
Sorry, I know I have a hard time saying that name. Julia. Ward is her middle name, or actually her last name before she got married. Ward. Ward. Howe. Howe.
Thank you.
No problem. Congo Square. Do you guys remember Congo Square?
Isn't that with the drums?
Yep. More specifically, what is Congo Square?
Is where they meet up. I forgot exactly where, but where they meet up to do a drum circle.
Very good. Yes. So if you guys remember the drum circle at Congo Square is kind of considered the birthplace of jazz in a sense. It was a section in New Orleans. Excuse me. It was a section in New Orleans where it was kind of the West African neighborhood or West African area of New Orleans, and they would allow a lot of the imported West Africans who were going to be traded as slaves or sold as slaves to celebrate their religious music and their heritage there in Congo Square on Sundays. And again, just to reemphasize, it was an area within New Orleans, right across the street from the French Quarter. Okay, so if you remember. Let me see what this is.
Jazz grew up in 1,000 places.
Okay, hold on a second. Sorry, guys. This is the drum circle we watched last time. And again, just to emphasize that this is Congo Square. And every Sunday, the Africans that were living in the area would have kind of a drum circle like this in the area. And it was really considered kind of the beginning birthplace of jazz, was Congo Square. Work song. Oh, wait a minute before I go on with that. Slave Songs of the United States. Remember this book? Does anybody have sorry, before I move on, does anybody have questions or concerns about Congo Square?
No.
Great. Next, Slave Songs of the United States was the first publication of African American spirituals. Published in 1867 and created and recorded by 3 abolitionists, 2 of them from Boston, 1 of them from Philadelphia. Came to North Carolina to document a number of the songs, and they wrote down the songs in a lot of the vernacular that the people were using at that time. Okay, Slave Songs of the United States. And again, it looks like this. Slave Songs of the United States. So if you remember Roll, Jordan, Roll, that would be an example of an African American spiritual. You guys remember watching this with me?
Went down to the river Jordan, where John
Yeah.
baptized 3. Where I walked the devil in hell, said Johnny baptized me. I say roll, Jordan, roll, roll, Jordan, roll. My soul arise in heaven, Lord, for the year Jordan roll. Well, some say John was a Baptist. Some say John was a Jew. But I say John was a preacher, cause my Bible says so too. I say roll, Jordan, roll. Roll, Jordan, roll. My soul arise in heaven, Lord, for the year when Jordan roll. Hallelujah, roll, Jordan, roll. Roll, Jordan, roll. My soul arise in heaven, Lord, for the year when Jordan roll. Hallelujah, roll, Jordan, roll. Roll, Jordan, roll. My soul arise in heaven, Lord, for the year when Jordan roll. Everybody say, roll, Jordan, roll. Roll, Jordan, roll. My soul arise in heaven, Lord, for the year when Jordan roll. Oh, children, roll, Jordan, roll. Roll, Jordan, roll. My soul arise in heaven, Lord, for the year when Jordan roll. Hallelujah. Roll, Jordan, roll. Roll, Jordan, roll. My soul arise in heaven, Lord, for the year when Jordan roll.
Okay, so Roll, Jordan, Roll, right? Considered an African American spiritual during this time of slavery. Okay, so I will play that for you, and I want you to be able to identify it. Is everybody with me?
Yes.
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 Great. Yaniris, are you with me?
Yes. Sorry, I was writing it down.
No, it's all good. I'm just Stefania, are you with me?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Ayona Hampton?
Yeah.
Great. Moving on, we talked about the blues. Oh, no, sorry, work songs. So remember what work songs were African American songs during the time of slavery that they would sing while working. we listen to this one.
I'll be so glad when the sun goes down. When the sun goes down. I'll be so glad when the sun goes down. When the sun goes down. I ain't all that sleepy, but I wanna lie down. Don't wanna lie down. I ain't all that sleepy, but I wanna lie down. Don't wanna lie down. I wanna lie down, baby. I wanna lie down. I ain't all that sleepy, but I wanna lie down. Oh, what got the matter, baby? Yeah, I can't see. Oh, what got the matter, baby? Yeah, I can't see. Notice sergeant and the driver both is down on me. Notice sergeant and the driver both is down on me. Just chop your corner like I chop mine. Just chop your corner like I chop mine. Well, you won't be worried when the sun goes down. When the sun goes down, you'll never be worried when the sun goes down. When the sun goes down, oh, Lord, yeah. Lord, yeah. Crying, oh, Lord, yeah. Lord, yeah. I made you a living when I was free. I made you a living when I was free. I'm in a world of trouble. You won't write to me. I'm in a world of trouble. You won't write to me. Won't write to me, baby. You won't write to me. I'm in a world of trouble.
Okay. Now, this brings me now remember, let me just clarify. Work songs were songs sung by the slaves while they were working. It was also sung by chain gangs or prisoners that were forced to work to keep the spirits up, to work in time, to work in rhythm, to kind of keep their minds occupied, to keep their bodies going. And again, that's considered a work song. Does anybody have questions or concerns regarding that?
No.
Okay, moving on. The person that recorded that was a man named Alan Lomax. Alan, Allan, and his last name is Lomax. Lomax. Alan Lomax. Alan Lomax is one of, well, him and his father, but Alan Lomax recorded that. He was one of the first ethnomusicologists to go into the Deep South, the Mississippi Delta area, in Louisiana and Mississippi Delta area, to begin documenting and recording a number of these spirituals, work songs, and blues. And he's an ethnomusicologist. His name is Alan Lomax. Very influential because he was, again, and he was largely responsible for discovering famous musicians such as Leadbelly. Okay? And if you guys remember, Leadbelly was very influential on a number of rock musicians. Okay? Okay, so again, just to clarify, Leadbelly was a very revolutionary, influential blues guitarist discovered by Ellen Lomax. He spent a lot of time in prison, and while in prison, he learned and listened to a number of the work songs, and the work songs, remember we just talked about work songs, were very influential on him and his music. He did end up going to New York, performing at a lot of the venues there. And again, just became a very popular blues musician who went on to influence a number of rock and roll performers as well. Moving on, we've done okay. So Robert Johnson, remember we talked about Robert Johnson. Robert Johnson is another famous blues guitarist that was very influential on a lot of the rock and roll musicians and performers. Uh, eh, let's listen to Hellhound on My Trail.
I got to keep moving. I got to keep moving. Blues falling down like hail. 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 And the game keeps on running. It's a hellhound on my trail. Hellhound on my trail. Hellhound on my trail. It's a David's Christmas Eve. It's a David's Christmas Eve. And tomorrow's Christmas Eve. It's a David's Christmas Eve. And tomorrow's Christmas Eve. Oh, wouldn't we have a time, baby? All I would need my little sweet ride just to pass the time away. To pass the time away. You think I'm hot foot bottom around my door, all around my door. You think I'm hot foot bottom around your daddy's door. It keeps me with a rambling mind right on. Every old place I go, every old place I go. I can tell the wind is rising, the leaves trembling on the trees, trembling on the trees. I can tell the wind is rising, leaves trembling on the trees. All I need my little sweet woman, and to keep my company, my company.
Okay, so again, just to clarify, Robert Johnson was a very revolutionary blues guitarist from the Mississippi Delta area. There's a famous legendary story saying that he made a deal with the devil at the crossroads, when in all actuality, what most likely happened is that he became I guess just started practicing. I don't really know what the correct terminology is, but following voodoo. And remember, voodoo was a religion passed down from West African slave traditions. Because remember, when the Africans were taken from West Africa, they brought their religion with them, and voodoo came with that. But anyway, also, just to note, Robert Johnson came up in something called juke joints. And juke joints are something I want you to remember. And juke joints were basically a place for people, it's mostly for African Americans. They were essentially bars set up on the edge of town that people could go drink and gamble and basically have fun. And a lot of the blues musicians would perform there and learn how to play there. And that's called a juke joint. Next, does anybody have any questions or concerns or comments?
Nope.
Okay. We talked about Fisk Jubilee singers. Now, Fisk Jubilee singers the Fisk Jubilee singers, if you remember, we watched this documentary right here. I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's 10 minutes long. But they were basically, Fisk University was founded with the intent of educating the freed, emancipated slaves after the Civil War. And while there, the head of the school took an interest to the songs that were being sung by these emancipated, freed slaves. And they went on, and so the university was having significant financial issues and financial trouble. So the leader of the school decided to put together a choir to showcase a number of these songs that these freed black people were singing at the time, and to travel the United States and the world with this group to hopefully raise money. They were able to raise enough money to buy the spot of land that the university now sits on to this day, and essentially save it from bankruptcy. So here's the Fisk Jubilee Singers. Okay, so again, that's the Fisk Jubilee Singers. I feel like a DJ now. And then next, we're just going to discuss real quickly. We're just going to discuss the minstrel show. Does everybody remember what a minstrel show was?
Minstrel shows were performances of usually white people in blackface who would
Yep.
be a caricature of black people.
But like satire, I guess.
Yes.
Not like a bad satire of slave life.
Right. Minstrel show comedy. Yes, it's where white people would dress up in blackface and yeah, so it's basically white people's version of how black people acted, like their impressions of how black people acted. It's also thought, and it should be clarified, it's also thought, some people have said that the reason that people did dress up in blackface was because it highlighted their features on stage, which, again, a number of black people as well, not a large number, but a handful of black people would dress up in blackface as well. But it's incredibly racist, and the reason that it's incredibly racist, again, is because it's essentially white people dressing up as black people and just acting out in the stereotypical fashion that they thought black people acted. But minstrel shows were very popular in the mid-1800s, early to mid-1800s. And as minstrel shows began falling out of favor, they were taken over by vaudeville shows. And basically, vaudeville and minstrel shows were just these traveling circuits that would travel all throughout the United States. And it was how a number of musicians in the late 1800s and early 20th century, 19th century into the 20th century would perform. And that's how a lot of music was shared and how a lot of people heard music back then, was through these minstrel shows and the vaudeville circuit, which brings us to Ma Rainey. Remember, Ma Rainey was just was an incredibly influential blues singer that from Georgia, that joined the vaudeville circuit and really brought blues to the stage of essentially kind of how do I say this? Created blues as like kind of put it in like a concert type format, even though it was a vaudeville circuit. It was a performance. It was a musical performance, and thus she was not the first recorded blues singer, but one of. Mamie Smith was the first recorded African-American woman to be recorded, but Ma Rainey was not far behind her. A lot of her recordings, I believe, were from 1926. But let's listen to Ma Rainey real quick. Okay, again, Ma Rainey. She was also discovered Bessie Smith and really took Bessie Smith under her wings. Bessie Smith went on to become a very popular singer and performer as well, who influenced Billie Holiday. Okay, and then last but not least, I think that's it. I think we're good. Does anybody have any questions?
Wait, I have a question. So, like for the exam on Thursday, do we have to like come into the Zoom meeting, or is it gonna be on Blackboard?
No, it'll be a Zoom meeting. So
Okay.
what I'll do is I'll play a number of these recordings for you, and I'll ask you to identify the time period and the performer, and
Okay.
probably the name of the song.
Alrighty.
And I'm not going to throw any curveballs. Everything that's on the test this Thursday will have been covered in this review just now. Okay?
Okay. Thank you,
I have
Professor.
I've recorded this review. I've recorded this review. I've recorded this class. I'll put it up on YouTube as soon as I get done here with this class. As soon as I turn this off, I will put this up on YouTube for you guys to take a look at. Okay? The other aspect that I want you to take a look at and I want you to learn for the midterm. Give me 1 second. Okay, so let me share this with you all. We're almost finished. Just hang in there. Remember the definitions from Harvard Concise? I don't want you to learn all of these. Don't worry about learning every single one. Where did it go? There are 3 of them that I want you to memorize, though. You don't have to memorize. Well, yeah. I want you to memorize. Can everybody see this here? I'll make this bigger. Can everybody see this? Definitions according to Harvard Concise Dictionary of Music. I want you to memorize melody, the definition of melody, the definition of harmony, and the definition of rhythm. Okay? I want you to memorize 3 definitions. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
And if you're concerned about where to get this, it's on our Blackboard. Do not expect this to be here on the day of the test. All right? Right there, under course content, definitions from Harvard Concise. I want you to learn the definitions of melody, harmony, and rhythm. Okay? I will hang out for a second in case you have questions. Otherwise, you're free to go. I will put this up on YouTube. Is the midterm going to be during class? Yes, it will be during class.
So will we be writing down the answers while we ask for the
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It will be multiple choice.
And then we'll send you the answers through email.
Yep. And then when you're done, just submit it to me like you're submitting a Microsoft Word document.
Oh, okay.
Okay. What was the name before Ma Rainey? I think you said it was like Mimi.
Oh, Mamie Smith. You don't need to know Mamie Smith's name, but Mamie Smith was considered is the first African American blues singer to be recorded.
Okay. All right.
Female
Thank you.
female African American blues
Female.
singer. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I got one question for about the quiz, or I mean the test.
Yes, sir.
So like, is there like, aside from the what we've seen today, is there any other topics that we're going to be looking at
Nope.
besides what we've? Okay, got you. How many questions is there going to be?
I'm going to keep it to around 20, hopefully. 20 to
Okay.
25, somewhere in that range.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to hang out in case anybody has any questions.
Thank you, Professor.
Sure, Valerie. Talk to you on Thursday.
It's 20 to 25 questions, right?
Yes.
But you said we had to identify the songs, and you gave us 3 definitions. What other questions will there be then? There are 20 to 25 questions, right?
Roughly. I haven't written the test yet, but there will be
Okay.
roughly about 25 questions.
Yeah, because I was thinking, so we have around like 5 songs and 3 definitions. I was wondering what else can we got in.
I'm sorry?
We have around 5 songs and 3 definitions. So what else in questions could it be there? Is there something more we gotta study?
Yeah. Tell me who Stephen Foster is. Tell
Mhm.
me who Williams Billings is.
Mhm.
Who wrote the New England Psalm Singers?
Mhm.
Who wrote the Camptown Races? Who is Lowell Mason? Who created
Okay.
the music? Who created music education in public schools?
So it's songs surrounding those 5, the 5 authors of the songs we heard.
There will be roughly 25 questions. Trust me.
Okay.
I'm actually trying to keep it down. I could make it 50 questions if you want.
Nah, it's cool. It's cool. 25 is cool.
All right.
All right. Then. Thank you.
I am hanging out in case you guys have any questions or concerns.
Yeah, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
So I was supposed to email you. I told you I was gonna email you, but I never did, and I'm sorry about that. But so I'm having a little trouble with my classes.
Okay.
It's not. I'm not having trouble. It's just I don't have the how do you say the time management. So
Right.
I do like I did miss your essay. I know that. One of your essays, the last one we did. I know I missed that, and I know I didn't do that one. I wanted to see if I can hand it in by the end of today and see if I could get some credit. If not, it's okay. I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah, of course, of course. Thank you for asking. Yeah, of course, I'll give you credit for sure.
Yeah, because I understand. Like I didn't turn it in the day it was due. It's just that.
Yeah,
time man-
you're overwhelmed. I got you.
Yeah, so
I mean, I can't give you full credit just out of fairness to the other kids in the.
I understand that, and that's reasonable.
No, but if you can please get something to me, anything is better than a 0 for sure.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, try to get to me as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to tell you and stuff.
If when you submit it to me, though, is if you could just put a note in the subject or in the content of the email, kind of explaining to me like what you're telling me.
Okay, no problem.
Great.
problem.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Professor. You have a good. All right, thank you.
Yeah, you too. Talk to you soon.